In this lesson, we're going to learn how to edit assets from outside sources. Okay, so the asset that we're wanting to edit is going to be this one right here. So we have our little jogger, and I want him to be the same color as this triangle, and also maybe we can make him a little bit smaller and a few things like that. Now, we always can change these things inside of After Effects, but what if you want to make a change that's possibly something that you can't change inside of After Effects? So let's talk about how we can change this and then update it in After Effects once we've changed it in the other program. So what you do is you basically want to find the asset that you're wanting to change. Then you can right click it and choose Reveal Layer Source in Project. And what that's going to do is highlight the layer source in the project panel and show you that asset or that source file. So then you can right click that file and tell it to reveal in Finder or Explorer, depending on if you're working on a Mac or a PC. So in my case, it'll be reveal in Explorer. So go ahead and click that, and it popped open my reference files folder and highlighted the file that I've been using for that runner. So I'm going to go ahead and double click this, and we'll open that original Illustrator file. Okay, so my Illustrator file has been opened, and you can see it's just this guy right here in the middle. And what I want to do is make him a little bit smaller. So let's go ahead and scale him down. So I'm just going to hold Shift and move that. And let's say maybe we want his shorts to kind of be a little bit closer to his body. So I'm going to hit the Z key to kind of zoom in a little bit. And these are just Illustrator things. You don't really have to change them, but let's just say, you know, maybe somebody you're working with changed the file. So I'm just showing you how to do these simple little changes. I'm going to grab the direct selection tool just so I can grab the point, and then we can move this around, maybe make those a little more streamlined there. Just something really, really small like that. Okay, once you are happy with the changes you've created, let's go ahead and zoom back out. And then we'll put this file back into After Effects. But first, just so it's easier to work with in After Effects, I want to make this artboard in Illustrator smaller, because this is going to be the size of the asset, the size of this box, not the size of the man and the bounding box that you see there when I select him. So to change that artboard size, you can come down here to your artboard tool, click that, and then just click your asset, and it'll automatically draw another artboard around him. Then we can X out that other artboard, and now we have the resized piece there. And let's also really quickly just change the color so it's not black and hard to see on our black background. So I'm just going to select him. We can come over here to our swatches and just choose, let's say, show color swatches. Let's see what that brings up for us. If you need to, you could, maybe if you haven't loaded anything in here yet, you could just choose any one of the ones from the library. Let's just choose this light blue color. Pretty easy. Doesn't have to be that, just really can be whatever you want. Now let's go ahead and save it. So I'm going to hit Control S to save. And it looks like this file was originally created with a legacy format. So that's okay. You don't have to really worry about that. If you didn't create your asset in Creative Cloud and that's what you're working with now, we can just go ahead and say okay here. It's not going to give us really any trouble. Okay, so I'm going to minimize Illustrator now, and now we're back in After Effects, and you can see that it automatically updated our guy whenever we came back in here. Now, if it doesn't happen where it automatically updates, you can right-click that piece of footage in your project panel and click Reload Footage. Sometimes it'll automatically update for you, sometimes it won't. So you can see now he was a little smaller, he's the blue color. And just is a little bit easier to see on our background. So another thing that you want to keep in mind whenever you're working with outside sources is if it's a vector source, you have the option to use that vector algorithm to keep your edges really crisp. So you can see that we're starting to get a little fuzz on the edges of this guy here. So to fix that, we can come over here to this switch, and it's going to be the continuously rasterized switch. So if I check that, you can see those edges got a lot more crisp, and if I zoom out, he just looks a little bit closer as far as the crispness goes to the crispness we have on this shape that was actually drawn natively here in After Effects. Okay, let's go ahead and position him so that he kind of looks like he's running up the mountain. Again, you can use the same tools to do this that we used earlier. I'm just going to grab the rotation tool. We'll kind of rotate him back so his feet are sort of on the same plane as the edge of that triangle, just kind of like that. And then let's grab the selection tool and kind of scale him down a bit. So to scale him down, I'm just going to grab the corner and start to drag. Now you can see that it really can do some crazy things, but if I hold shift, it's going to constrain proportionately. So that makes a little more sense. So I'm going to make him quite a bit smaller, and then just zoom in here by rolling my mouse. And then let's just move him down and into position, just kind of right up here on our mountain. And I'm just middle clicking this time, or you can hit the space bar to kind of pan around. It'll work either way. And let's use the arrow keys to kind of move him into place. So I'm just going to hit the up and sideways arrows a few times just to get him into place on the mountain. And it looks like we might need to rotate him down and forward just a little bit. So I'll grab that rotation tool again, and we'll rotate him forward just a bit, just like that. Grab that selection tool again, and now we can use those arrow keys to position him in place. Perfect. So that looks pretty good, just like that. And again, we've already trimmed the layer in our last lesson to be able to just last the length there. So you can change the size of something in After Effects. As you saw, we scaled him down, but you can also change it in your outside original source file. And then once you change it and save it, it's going to update here inside of After Effects either automatically or by right-clicking the source file and going to reload footage. You can also replace footage if you want to use a completely different file. Just hover over Replace, go to File, and then choose the new file that you want to replace it with. So lots of options. If you've already trimmed a layer, gotten all of those things in place, it's very easy to kind of switch some things out if you need to do it that way. Okay, so now that we've edited that asset, got him looking a little bit closer to what we want, we're ready to start using some effects for our footage. So we're going to learn how to add effects and how to find effects in the Effects and Presets panel in our next lesson.